Shalom, welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon with the Chabad House of Delmar, and today we have a very special guest with us, my own son, Rabbi Zalman Simon, and his wife Chanie. Welcome to the Jewish View.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Zalman, you've been living with me in Bethlehem for 25 years, and it's the first time I got you on the Jewish View. So Zalman now is a co-rabbi with us and expanding to the whole Bethlehem area. And maybe tell us a little bit about your experience. You didn't stay at home for 25 years. You flew to Coop a little bit earlier. So where have you gone, and some of the experiences maybe that you've experienced that maybe helps you to be a rabbi now?
Well, I went from a young age, actually 16 years old, I left home. I went to yeshiva, which is a religious school, religious seminary, starting at a young age, basically full day Hebrew studies. And I went to Rockland County, and there I was for a couple of years till I went to Argentina, Buenos Aires for a year, and I studied, and where I studied. It's common that yeshiva students go to different yeshivas, schools throughout the world or throughout the country, and I chose Argentina. It was a good school, and it was quite a unique experience, being that it was a unique experience in that I saw a different type of community. I saw a Spanish-speaking community, quite a few Jews down there, and very interesting. And I actually, more than learning Spanish, I learned Hebrew, how to speak there, being that the classes and the way I interacted with the other Spanish-speaking students was in Hebrew. So that's actually where I picked up the language, how to speak Hebrew, conversational Hebrew. And from there I went to different schools. I went then to New Jersey, and off to Detroit and Israel, all over. Finally, where I ended up in Brooklyn. So that was
the Holy Land over here, the central of everything. Also, I mean, it's good to see other Jewish communities, because obviously in anything, that's why people travel all together, is just that to see different people's different way they do things, and it just adds on to your ideas of where maybe, try something different, something new, and it just makes you more, experienced, and also widens your horizons. Chanie comes from Milwaukee, and that's why she had to come here, because of the cold. If I picked someone from Florida, that would be impossible. They'd be too traumatized. So, Chanie, a little bit about your background. Like I just said, you started in Milwaukee.
I started in Milwaukee, where my family is from. Went away. Actually, there was no Jewish school for girls at that time. It was just a local day school. So for high school, I had to leave home. Now there is a high school there. So, but at the point in time, there was no high school. So I left home at 14 to go away. I did not travel as much as Zalman did. I stayed within the States for the most part. High school was in the States. And I spent a year studying in Israel, which was in a teacher seminary, where you actually do get an Israeli form of a teaching certificate, which does help in the States, and they train you very well and very rigorously, being it's a one-year program. Then I came back to the States and have been here ever since. Spent a couple years in warm Florida, which was very nice, and then back up here to the north, to the New York area. And those were basically my studies. Not so exciting.
You're right, but you've been around. Well, you work with Friendship Circle too, a little
That's
bit
right.
with that.
Well, my working experience, I worked for Friendship Circle in Connecticut, which was a great experience, working with special needs children and their families. And actually my background sort of led me to that. Thank God, I'm one of 7 children in my family with 3 special needs children. So I grew up to appreciate all that special needs children have to offer, and it was a great opportunity to to give back to the community that helped my family so much, and to work with the Friendship Circle. And I know that they have a branch of Friendship Circle here as well. So that was a great learning experience and a great opportunity.
Right now, Zalman, you've seen what I've been doing for 25 years. Of course, you can always do more and more. What are your ideas, like goals of seeing? You know exactly what's happening already. It's not like you're a newcomer. So sometimes you say, well, give me a few years to figure out what the situation is. You kind of know already what the situation is. What do you think that you can increase and help out in this Bethlehem area?
Well, like you said, I have grown up here in Bethlehem, and for the most part know the demographics of the community, the Jewish community specifically, and it's that besides going away to yeshiva, I also there's a program that sends the yeshiva students to different communities, different countries, trying to where there isn't a rabbi, or our communities, established communities, and to help out with the community members with different things, whatever it might be, whether it be Jewish books or putting on phylacteries to fill in and so on. So I kind of, in addition to knowing the demographics of this community, I also got an idea of Jewish needs throughout the country and throughout the world, and what to do and how to react, so to speak. So I feel that what we plan on doing, both Chanie and I, we feel that the youth is very important. There are established programs for the youth in Albany, but it's not that far away, but it's about a couple of miles away and so on. And there's many affiliated people who still don't necessarily take advantage of those programs for whatever reason. And there's as well many unaffiliated families who don't belong to a temple or a synagogue for whatever reason, whether it because they don't have the means to pay for the dues, or whether it be because they just they're not within that circle or not interested, whatever it may be. So there's many different types of Jewish people within the area that we'd like to start. One of the things to do is work with the youth from very young, from toddlers and going through elementary age. And actually, we plan on starting soon a Mommy and Me, which my wife Chanie probably would be able to explain a little bit more about that than I can. Would you like
Let's
to
go ahead.
Okay. So Mommy and Me, there are some Mommy and Me's in the area, but none that cater to the Jewish community, where either once or twice a month we'll be having a Mommy and Me in our home or in a public place where get together and you learn about the upcoming Jewish holiday, and the kids get to do activities based on the holidays. And this is geared to children between the age of 6 months and 3 years. And we have a son ourselves who is 18 months, and we know that he loves being together with other children his age, and it's just a great way to get together and meet other people in the community with children the same age as your children, and learn more about the Jewish holidays and events that come up, and a sense of a young community and vibrant and growing community that there is here. So that's for the Mommy and Me.
And that's pretty short term, what we plan on doing within the next definitely couple of months. So that's one thing. And we also plan on, there's already adult education. We plan on offering different styles, different types of courses for adults, for both men and women. And really to also to get to meet the different members of the community with holiday packages, which we are about to do before the holiday of Purim and also before Passover coming up. and all different types of, and the programs which are there to help out and expand as well. For example, holiday programming and so on. So that's a little bit about
the upcoming event.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. We have an upcoming event at the Holiday Inn in Glenmont, the Comfort Inn in Glenmont, on March 20th at 5 p.m. and that's going to be for the Purim celebration for the holiday. It's going to be lots of fun for the entire family with the theme of Hawaii. So come on dressed up if you'd like to come. You're more than welcome to. And
The Friday nights over here, some Shabbos programs.
we also offer, we have community events, Friday night communal dinners, which we are having about 4 times a year, every 3 months, and that's very nice. It's at the Chabad House on Ellesmere. And we invite anybody who's invited, but it's more for families, and we tend to have a theme, what we'd like to walk away with at the end of the meal. And it's just a nice, warm, together Friday night Shabbat dinner, and all are welcome. So that's another program that we do as well. And remind me, I think there's other ideas that we have as well.
Women's Circle, we're going to be starting.
Go
Right.
for
So
it.
I'll speak a little bit about Women's Circle. I know for myself personally, it's very hard to get me out of the house at night. And one thing, and I know that social events are hard to come by here. So we're looking forward to starting Women's Night Out about 6 times a year, bi-monthly, where it's called Women's Circle, and you have great activities, great food, great social atmosphere with different women from the community, where you get to learn something Jewish, you get to learn some sort of craft like cake decorating or soap making, all different great fun ideas. So you get to walk away with something, and it's just a great relaxing night out. We're hoping to start that within the next 2 months or so, have our first one towards the end of this year, and that's a great exciting program to look forward to. I mean, you can find out about all these events on the website, that
We're giving
all the
out. Okay, go ahead.
information
Well,
will
go
be
ahead.
going up. It's BethlehemChabad.com. You can check it out.
It's a new website that we've just come out with, so it's a nice, definitely check it out. There's all about our different upcoming events, and a little about what we do, and there's also different links and so on for different articles that you might find enjoyable, and that's something that we have as well. So in short, what we plan on doing is catering to the Jewish needs of the community, starting with the youth. Eventually we'll get to the teens, which is very important as well, but we'll get there, and then to work with the adults as well, and really to build a sense of community in the area, and both socially and educationally and so on, just to cater to the needs, all the needs of the Jewish community members in this area in Bethlehem.
Well, excellent. No, I just wanted to tune people in because really we're looking at microcosm. Of course, here we are in Bethlehem in our corner of the world, but the whole Chabad institution, really, we're just a piece of the puzzle, so to speak. It's not like here we are, a few people thinking about Jewish education, which we are, of course, but on the other hand, we're a small little piece in the puzzle. Tell us about maybe friends and just a general Chabad movement. There's thousands of people around the entire world, and again, it's not just New York, it's not United States, it's literally, like I said, the entire world. Maybe you have friends or things
Definitely.
where they have gone over here, so like part of a bigger picture, really. We're seeing the smaller picture in our neighborhood.
Yeah, we're both, my father and I are members of the Chabad movement, which was started a couple of hundred years ago, but there's our Rebbe mentor who now has passed away in 1994, but he strongly believed in catering to the Jewish needs throughout the North America and also throughout the world. and he asked different members of the community, of the organization, to go to different neighborhoods, different cities, different countries, and to do what we're doing to cater to the Jewish needs. And different communities demand different responsibilities. Some it's providing kosher, some it's building a synagogue, some it's working with teens, with youth. It's whatever it really is needed in that community. So there are, like Rabbi Simon said, there are about 4,000 different Chabad houses, different rabbis throughout the world, and many countries throughout the world. And I've had a couple of friends as well move out to different areas. I have a friend on campus in Minnesota, and a friend in San Antonio who moved out, and now in Philadelphia and on university as well. So lately there's been many rabbis going to universities, working with campus students. And the overall goal really is to, like I said before, is really to cater to the Jewish needs, and to instill a sense of pride within the Jewish people, and that they should do whatever they can a little bit more to become closer to God, connect with God by doing a good deed, by learning a little bit more about Torah, and also building a sense of community. So we're trying to do that on a smaller scale within a small suburb of Albany.
It's excellent. Well, people should appreciate, everybody loves Bethlehem. Here we are in Bethlehem, and it is a great place to live, but it is far away from the Orthodox religious community, for example, Brooklyn, where you came from, to say, well, you love it, big deal coming to Bethlehem. It's a great place to live. Could be a little warmer, get rid of snow, maybe not Miami Beach, but it's a great place to live, let's face it. On the other hand, Jewishly wise, people should appreciate, and I think that's very important for people, that coming from an Orthodox community where there's kosher stores right around the corner. You don't have to go drive 20-25 minutes to get kosher food, and there's major schools, choice of schools for your children. So many facilities for the Orthodox Jew, for example, in New York or the New York area. So on one hand, it's a beautiful place to live, and it truly is. And on the other hand, that for an Orthodox Jewish person, it's difficult in that sense. The neighbors, that aren't sympathetic or just ready to keep the Sabbath, for example. So when the Rebbe, Lubavitch Rebbe, who passed away in 1994, he asked young couples like these, typically, and that to move out to the hinterland. And you're talking about San Antonio. Some people move on to Russia, where it's even more difficult, or even in other places where just had in New Zealand, halfway around the world, literally. Yes, well, you go there because there's Jewish people to be taught, there's Jewish people to be helped, and these young couples, just like we're sitting here, they go and saying, well, and nothing wrong with living in New Zealand. It's a nice place also, and all these cities that he named are very nice cities. It's not difficult. I don't know if I'd run to Russia so fast. Over here it's not that great, but listen, there's a lot of nice cities. But again, for the Orthodox person, the facilities aren't so friendly, so to speak. Kosher food, you have to import it. And really, we're doing better in Albany than in the Capital District than a lot of places where there is no kosher area. So just give you a bigger scenario, a microcosm of what it means for these young couples going around, coming out of school. And let's face it, also, they're intelligent. They could, be doctors and lawyers, et cetera, and instead they dedicated their lives to helping the Jewish community. And that's why I say I put it in perspective, not just saying, okay, you're here and you're doing a nice job, but just to see what the bigger picture is all about, what the Chabad movement, or the Rebbe, the leader of the Chabad movement, and that's the way he always taught, You don't think of yourself, you think about somebody else also. And in the end, things, the blessings come. But in the meantime, people have to be helped. And the Rebbe always gave an example where he says that some person came to the Rebbe and said, well, this, it just isn't my thing that I generally do to educate people, to help people. He says, listen here, he says, I'll give you an example that let's say there's a fire, God forbid, next door. So what are you going to say? He said, well, I can't help them because I'm not a fireman. I never was trained for it. You just do what you can and you're helpful. You're there and nobody else is there. You're the one who you're the one who's called on to do the help. It's the same thing here also. I mean, not that they're untrained, because they, like I say, that's why I wanted to bring out their bio. So they've been around now, like all of a sudden they wake up, okay, let's do this job for years, and maybe I know their whole lifetimes, because Zalmans was raised up in this, he already had guests in the house, and the first time he's ever been on the Jewish View, but all right. That still, and the Chanie also, they've been raised in a situation where they see their parents and their friends helping people out like this, and like their own education, the friendship circle, whatever, helping people out, going around to different communities. So in a way, now they've been groomed for such a job. But again, people always ask, well, you made him come. Well, I don't make my kids do anything, and they wouldn't listen to me anyway. And no one makes them. No one forces them. There are many Chabad people who are doctors, lawyers, and businessmen, and they're very successful. Nothing wrong with it at all. And it's their own choice. It's their free choice to say, hey, I could have maybe a better monetarily job than this. On the other hand, this is what I want to do. I think this is what the Rebbe really wanted from me. This is really what's so important in this world. Another doctor, a lawyer, the world will exist without another Jewish doctor or lawyer. But who's going to help the Jewish community? We see so many troubles in the Jewish community nowadays. Troubles in the sense, not, so to speak, anti-Semitism, but the assimilation is incredible. The intermarriage, the assimilation on the Jewish people's part, and they need young people to make interesting programs, as you've heard. That's something that'll grab them and that they want to come to. They'll motivate them to come and be able to, be proud of being Jewish, even in that basic sense.
Definitely.
Well, I want to thank Zalman, my son, and Chanie, now my daughter-in-law, and wish them the best, working together and growing in the best way that they can. And again, we'll just give you the website, because I know people, they watch TV, of course, and everybody's electronic, but to see what programs are going on now. Bethlehem, which we know Chabad is spelled CHABAD.com, BethlehemChabad.com, and anybody who wants, again, just to review, there's holiday programs. Anytime there is a holiday, that there's something special going on. The high holidays, Sukkot, Hanukkah, Purim, there's always something, so you can count on, hey, let's do something for Hanukkah, for example. Look on the website or call us up. And we're always there for doing something special. There's Friday night, there's family groups, children's groups we heard about. And honestly, that if anything you want to see, something, a class, I'd like to learn Yiddish, something, I want to learn the Kabbalah, anything you heard about being Jewish and maybe we don't offer it, hey, we're open for suggestions. We were here for the Jewish community, and something that, hey, could you visit my older parent or senior citizen? Fine, we're open to anything that's a mitzvah, and there's so many things that are mitzvahs of helping people out, doing something for people, visiting the sick. These are all major, major mitzvahs. There's not only us, but we have volunteers that want to be helpful. For example, we have a few volunteers that saying, hey, anybody's infirmed. For example, a lot of people, elderly people, do not go out of their house, so therefore that they, can't go anywhere, have a social life. We have volunteers that visit them on a weekly basis. So that's something, again, we didn't say all the programs that we can offer. And like I say, if you have a better suggestion, or if you have a class, or hey, just meet with some friends tell us what to do, hey, we're open for it. Many times our programs come from people themselves. Hey, I'd like to learn this. At a beginning Talmud class, people say, hey, I'd like to start knowing what the Talmud is. So we started a beginning Talmud class, and that was inspired from people that are interested in different things. So it's not only what we're doing that we think, and we like, again, through experience, looking around to other places, what people like most, but maybe there's something that we didn't touch upon and that we didn't offer yet. So we're open for that also. So that's important, and we'd like to grow and join us and being friendly and just together on a meal, a Friday night meal. Doesn't have to be a service, so to speak. Could just be a friendly meal to get to know each other and invite us over, and that we can get to know you and to grow with you and become part of one big happy family. Jewish people are called brothers, they're called friends, and whether we know each other or not, then still important that we should connect with each other in any way possible. Again, if you know someone else who needs help, in many, many ways, people think, hey, there's a Jewish child, hey, they're not having a bar mitzvah, I heard that they're 12 years old. Hey, you know, what do? We're not members anywhere. Hey, we offer that too. You know, that many times we've had bar mitzvah lessons for children, tutor them, give them the bar mitzvah. Every child should have a bar and bas mitzvah. We can help them out also. I know, being honest, that people aren't members for different reasons. Maybe the dues are too high, whatever, that they can't afford it. Well, you know, we of course live on donations, but if anybody can't afford anything, that really is not a criteria for not to come around. Well, I can't afford that much, and a class, and it costs money. That, listen, if we take what you can over here, if you can afford it, fine, and if not, that's also fine. That we'll be able to teach and to come over, whatever. You know, people are under recession, some single parents. I know, you know, from experience that it's sometimes very difficult financial circumstances for people, but it's not a reason why people or children shouldn't have a Jewish education. Well, we offered a whole gamut for everybody. Please, it's the ball's in your hand to call and to connect, and we're going to go out and meeting people. I know Rabbi Zalman, my son, and Chanie have already gone out of their way to meet as many people as they can. Just want to thank you again and wish you success, and to grow and to meet people, and all the programs should be very successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and make sure to visit our website at BethlehemChabad.com, and you can email us, contact us through the website as well, and we'll see you there.